Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to COASTER-net Update. We've got some breaking news out of Chicago, Illinois, where Universal last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, announced that they're building a standalone haunt in Chicago called to piggyback off of Horror Nights a little bit. They announced a location. Did they announce an opening date? 2026, maybe?
Yeah, it's just vague. It's just 2026 right now for that one.
So what we expect here is a few houses to be put in. They've already have a location picked. That it's going to be in the River West. Did we say River East or River West? River East, I think I said. I
I think
said
North River. A
yeah, River North, River.
lot of directions.
Yeah, so this is not going to be in downtown proper. I know where this is. It's between. It's technically River West, but they're calling it River North. The river kind of splits these are Chicago neighborhoods. So Jeff, you're from New York. You know the
I,
boroughs.
I know that when you're trying to redevelop an area, the first thing you do is you change its name.
That's what they do. They tried to do that a few times in Chicago. I don't know how successful that was. But they bought this old Chicago. I don't know if they bought it, they're leasing it, they're doing something with it. This old Chicago Tribune distribution warehouse. The place is huge. The concept art that they've put out there actually mirrors the location itself. Like I said before, this is not downtown proper. So if you're planning on going on a trip here, there's not a whole lot of hotels, a little bit of development. This was a very industrial part of the city being right on the river. And I think it's now just started being redeveloped for different uses across the board. So an interesting location, an interesting concept. What do you think we're going to see here?
Um, you know, the whole thing, I'm expecting to have Halloween all year round in Chicago. The the haunts or walkthroughs or I mean it really could be anything. They're just calling it Unleashed right now. Um, it could be something that rotates, something that changes, something that's very permanent. But I'm thinking that because it's built for a neighborhood and for an area, that it can't be static. Like, I don't think it could be static.
No, and I don't think it has to be static financially either, because they have a ton of stuff that they use for horror nights every year and they get rid of. Now, granted, a lot of those things are IP based and they change up every year. But what you can do then is send some of those old set pieces over to Chicago. They're also opening up one of these in Las Vegas next year.
Oh, no,
And
no. Vegas opens next month.
oh,
So
next
we
month, excuse me, next month I meant.
see what these
So
things are
they,
next month.
so they're opening next month. So once that opens, I think we're gonna get a much better idea of what's gonna happen in Chicago. Because I feel like the Vegas and Chicago. Oh, there he is. You're talking about Haunt here today.
Something is broken. I'm trying for the room and it can't fit.
Okay, well, come bring it to me. I'll fix it. Okay. So once the Vegas one, oh, sorry about that. Once the Vegas one opens up, I think we're gonna get a much better idea of what's coming to Chicago. But I feel like all those old set pieces, especially for the haunts that are not IP based, that the haunts that are custom made, every single year there's about at least four of them between Hollywood and Orlando that are just custom haunts, and I think they can try and transport some of those things, and kind of make these locations feel real fresh. That in Vegas, obviously, you have a constant tourist base coming in, so that's going to be interesting to see how static that is. But in Chicago, I don't know if you're going to have those tourist things, and I think we're going to see a whole lot more movement to keep people coming back during different times, different years, to keep it feeling fresh.
Yeah, it might also be a great opportunity for them to get a little more value out of the IPs. I know that that you were talking about the custom stuff, but when they license these things, they might be able to license them for a longer stretch of time for pretty much the same money. We can maybe see like, okay, after they're done doing Hollywood Horror Nights, we got two sets of costumes, two sets
Yeah.
of promotional materials, two sets of everything, and now we got two places to put them. So
Yeah,
like
and I
they could,
think that's going to be really cool because like I guess at some level, will it cut now? To Horror Nights is not hurting for business. That if you've been to Horror Nights, especially in Orlando, the last few years, that they are not hurting for business at any point. That the place is jam packed with people. So I don't think by opening these places up that you're cutting into, oh well, I'm going to go travel down to Orlando, but now since there's one in Chicago, I'm not going to do that. I don't think you're cutting into the business at all, right?
No, I mean, even if I lived in LA and I went to the Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood, if it goes to Vegas and I've got a vacation like around the holidays or in the winter, I might want to like relive that experience, and that might give me the opportunity to do that. And if I'm a Midwesterner traveling either to Florida or to California, like who's to say I wouldn't want to have that experience again? And I don't think it would prevent me from becoming like a firster. I mean, like if you want to see it first, I would still expect to see that in the theme parks.
Yeah, and I think it's going to open up a whole new section. I think it's going to do the opposite. I think people are going to be like, "Oh, I want to go see that." They're going to hopefully it's the same quality because there is no haunt that can match the quality of Universal. It's just not done anywhere. Even in the local haunt market, in the theme park haunt market, there is nobody that can match their level of quality. So what might the opposite might be true is people go to the horror nights in Chicago and be like, "Hey, I want to go experience this in Orlando now and see what this is all about." So I think you're going to
Sure.
see maybe the opposite happen with that.
Yeah,
So I'm kind of excited.
there could be a lot of good synergy. I also think that it gives them a cool opportunity to have a unique experience at all of the locations. So if you want to do everything, you got to go everywhere. So like maybe you'll have something that's uniquely Chicago. I don't know, like an Al Capone one or something, and Vegas will
Yeah.
have like some sort of haunted ghost town desert thing. There's a lot of opportunities to have you know, regional specific IPs that they or ideas that they can create.
Oh, Devil in the White City, get that IP right there, right? That would be amazing. But you're right that you do want to have something to make it feel unique. You just don't want to make it feel recycled from Horror Nights. So I could see, like, if you have I'm not guessing. I'm thinking you're going to have like, I think the press release might have said a number somewhere in the Vegas one. Probably about 4 or 5 haunts, something like that. Different walkthroughs, and I think maybe one of them might be, maybe all of them will be unique, who knows? But I think one of them will definitely be, like you were saying, like maybe something, an original IP or original concept, of something like Devil in the White City would be amazing. I think people would go
So
crazy
you
about.
can actually already buy tickets for the Vegas one, and you're right. They did say how many. There's four haunted houses. One of them is called Universal Monsters. One is going to be linked to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's Scarecrow and the Reaping, and The Exorcist. So some pretty recognizable stuff, and their own creation as well.
And all ones that they've done recently too. If you like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think they've done at least 4 or 5 different times since I've been going. I think yeah, Exorcist was just done, depending on which Exorcist you look at. Um and like I said, just keeping things fresh, and I don't think that you're gonna see those haunts be the same year upon year after year. If it is the same, I think that's where they're going to go wrong. But I don't foresee that happening. I really don't.
No, I mean, in Vegas, I feel like they might have a little bit more wiggle room to take a little longer to like
Yeah,
refresh. But like if the one in Chicago feels like it's made for the Midwest, and how many times are you gonna experience the same thing before you say, well, I've been there and I've done that, and I'm totally done with this experience. But even if it gets a refresh once a year, that's probably enough to get people to have multiple visits um or to say, hey, I had such a good time, I want to bring my friends,
yeah. And
It
I really like the way that some of the, like, I know Universal cleans out everything,
would,
starts afresh, that they rarely ever repeat haunts, the same exact haunt. They've only done it a handful of times, with the same layout and everything. They've redone themes over and over. But I feel that with Chicago, with some of the other theme park haunts like Cedar Point, Six Flags, picking one and refreshing it every year, and kind of having that rotating feel to it is probably the better way to go for this project, I would think. And then of course you have the whole retail side of things as well, um, with the licensing and selling of merchandise, and that's a whole part of Horror Nights too. That you cannot go to Horror Nights and not see lines deep into the merch, deep into the merch.
I'll tell you, at school, the one thing that I always see is everybody's always wearing like Fright Fest t-shirts or the Hershey Park Dark
Yeah.
Knights t-shirt, t-shirts and sweatshirts. Everybody buys that merch, but I very rarely see like the other theme park kind of merch. But
Yeah.
that stuff, they love it.
And this is just a white. Do you like haunted houses, Robert? What do you want to say? You want to say something? Do you like haunted houses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to watch it.
Yeah, you can sit here for right now. So this is just a broader movement within Universal that we see them opening up different areas all around the world. Obviously, Epic Universe just opened up. Neither of us has gone to that one yet. But we see the Universal Kids Park going into Texas.
Right.
We just got more information about the Universal Park going into Great Britain. When's that one opening in Great
The
Britain?
the Great Britain one is far out. I think it said 2031.
2031. Oh my goodness, that's
2031,
crazy,
yeah. But
right?
the kids resort in Frisco, Texas, they're talking about 2026. So that's something um, that people could start looking forward to now if they have young kids. And it's going to be,
Mhm.
like a full resort. Yeah, like like some of the other experiences that we're seeing, they want you to, come in, stay on site, eat on site, play on site, be entertained on site, and never leave. So that's kind of like something that we're seeing popping up with all new construction in general as well.
And this one's going to be starting his own YouTube show too, CoasterNet Kids, and maybe Universal Texas is the first episode of that show. You can see he's already got the attitude for it, and yeah, you know what? You look like you belong on a different station. You're a little bit young for this station. So overall, though, like I think Universal doing this stuff is a really good idea. Trying to get into new markets, it's the thing that Disney never did, that Disney always talked about moving into different markets. And they exploited the Asian market, which, some people get to, a whole lot of people do not get to. But, with Universal really diving into different experiences, expanding their haunt, which I think is a really, really good idea because people talk about it all the time. And then opening up new parks too. So overall, I've been very critical of Universal over the past 10 years and their decision making's ability, but recently I feel like Universal's finally starting to make some good decisions. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean they're really going all in. They've had, their theme parks that we're familiar with. They've got some Asian theme parks, but to create one in Europe, a kids resort in Texas, and then these two standalone experiences that are they're entertainment, but they're decidedly not a theme park. I think it's pretty bold of them. And to be honest, if they work out, I could see that coming to other large cities. Like, why wouldn't like New Orleans or New York or Boston
Yeah,
not be able to get one of these, you know?
absolutely. So we will keep you updated, especially when that Vegas one opens. We'll have some reviews of it, maybe some ideas and some looks to see what's going on, to see what's coming to Chicago. So I think that'll wrap us up here for tonight. I'm of course Andrew Barczyk from Chicago, Illinois.
I'm Jack Goodman from Long Island, New York,
And what's
and
your and what's your name? Oh, Robert. Okay, that's your name. Okay. Right on, Ride Warriors.
right on.